It is now April 2021, and after the shortest off season that I've ever had, it's time to go racing. Hey guys, welcome back to Begin Again. Thanks for joining. If you saw my last video about what my off-season test schedule looked like, you know it was pretty short. So I'm heading out to North Texas Kartways today for what's going to be my first race of the year. But to be honest with you, it's really just going to be an extended test today for me. I found some things in the garage. I'm not going to talk about them right now, but if it turns out that these things help me go quicker, I'm certainly going to share them with you. That said, it's a beautiful day here in North Texas. The weather turned out to be a lot cooler than what the forecast originally was. Not a cloud in the sky. Got a little bit of a breeze, but it ought to be pretty awesome. So thanks for joining, and let's see what happens today.
One of the things I love about driving up to the track in Denton is that you get to take a lot of backcountry roads that are actually quicker than the freeway, and you get to just kind of enjoy some of North Texas, especially in the springtime. It's just so pretty. Eventually you get to Interstate 35 and you make the big left-hand turn to start heading north and drive past the University of North Texas. Yes, that is a green Lone Star flag for the state of Texas, but that's part of UNT. And eventually get off of 35, head underneath the freeway eventually, and get on a pretty long gravel road that leads into the track. Here we are entering the facility at North Texas Kartway. On this particular day, massive entry list. It was just great to see, and of course the weather was just perfect. All right, so qualifying's over. Kind of a mixed bag. I'm not really sure. I don't feel like I drove all that well, but the cart was just all over the place. And talking with some of the other guys, it sounds like they were kind of all over the place too. I'm going to mess around with tire pressure, see how that works. Surprisingly enough, the air density hasn't changed, so I'm not going to make any changes to the carburetor or anything like that. I think we're good there. And we're going to give her a once-over, put a little gas in her, and off we go. Let's see what happens. So here I am driving up to the grid, and of course the only thing that I can think about is, man, just don't blow the start. Now starting off to the right of me is Kieran, and he had problems in qualifying, and sure enough, he just came out like a rocket ship, just blew past both of us because I blew the start, and the guy in front of me, Max, he didn't have the greatest start either. So Max is a little bit more experienced than I am. He's still classified as a rookie by North Texas Karters, and he's driving a Honda. And since he qualified about half a second quicker than me, he's a great guy for me to go and chase at this stage of the game. You know, he's fast enough that I've got to lean on it and maybe improve my game trying to keep up with him, but not so fast that he just loses sight of him. So coming into this corner here, I just get the wrong gear. I'm slow out of there. Max is fast out of the corner, and he just kind of disappears off into the sunset. But then as we get into the twisty sections where it's a little bit more technical, I managed to string together a series of good corners, and Max really doesn't pull me all that much. If anything, maybe I gain on him. Coming up here on the first chicane, really hit it just right, get a good exit speed. Max isn't pulling me. I'm staying with him. Come into turn 7, maybe gained a little bit under the braking, and I'm thinking, okay, man, I've got a chance. I can go and I can get him. And then I go in here and I blow it again. Unbelievable. And so Max rides off into the sunset again. And it just goes to show I've got to go and work on each corner individually and figure out how to piece this thing together. And in the meantime, poor Max, he had some sort of a mechanical issue or whatever, and so I was able to easily pass him. And so from there on, it just became a practice session for me.
So moving on, coming up into the last 3 corners of the final lap of the race, again coming into 7, not too bad. Coming up into 8 and 9, and really need to work on these 2 corners here because it's costing me so much time. So we're going to look at that in bits and pieces. And there's the checkered flag. So the race is over for the day. Coming on in, there's Max. He'd pushed his cart in, and I'm rolling into the tech barn.
All right, so that's the end of another race day, and I think the first thing I have to do is just give a huge shout out to North Texas Karters. I mean, those guys know how to put on a race. They had 137 entries for a club race, and there's some national races that don't pull that many people. So just really amazing. Great to see all the young karters out there, boys and girls, and lots of families, and they're bringing their dogs and the whole deal, man. I mean, it's great. And so they do it right. You know, no organization is perfect, but they do a lot of things really right. So big shout out to them. From my perspective, you know, better, still a long way to go. There's some things that I'm really starting to think about. I want to go look at the onboard video to learn a little bit more, but you know, with each outing, it seems like I'm getting a little bit better, a little bit more competitive. I found a few more tenths of a second in my driving. That's a good thing. So we're just going to keep at it, and definitely have some very specific goals for this year, and a lot of those goals are only going to be met by seat time. So thanks for joining. More videos to come. We've got a lot of racing coming up here in the next 3 months, so there's going to be a lot of content. Going to be working on some extra videos around chassis setup and those kinds of things that hopefully you'll find helpful. And in the meantime, man, thanks for joining. I hope you're enjoying the journey with me, and we'll see you real soon.